Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Simple Politics. It's been a crazy morning. In politics. The ANC has just had a press briefing done by Fikile Mbalula. A very long press briefing. He has said so many things. I think I want to react just to a few things that he said. Hey, yo. Herman Mashaba had an interview this morning with Clement, and I just have so many questions because I feel like Herman is not the only person in the Action SA. If it happened that Herman made a mistake, in Action SA there are doctors, there are learned people. If Herman Mashaba understood things wrong, you are telling me that everybody in Action SA got things wrong. Like, that to me is not making sense. And also, Herman Mashaba is not in parliament. You know, it's not making sense. But anyway, and then there was also a press briefing by Bosa. That's why I'm saying there's been a lot going on this morning. There was a press briefing by Bosa. I must say, I am really disappointed by Bosa. And the reason why I'm disappointed is because I don't know, I just think I expected much more from Musi and Buntu. And I'm not saying their way of reasoning is wrong, because now they stand firm and believe how they voted and their reasoning behind that. But I'm just like, if it's wrong, you can't tell me that they didn't see it. Like, it just does not make sense to me. But yeah, just before we get right into it,
we're making no apologies. That's it, so that our people can have access to the land.
Life is difficult, but you must soldier on. Don't give up. If you are a coward, you don't belong here.
Okay, so let's get right into it. I want to start with Fikile Mbalula. And the reason I'm starting with Fikile Mbalula is because he has said a lot of things that are spicy, but also he said a few things about the DA, and judging from what he's saying, Fikile does not like the EFF, and Fikile Mbalula does not want to work with the EFF nor the MK. If it was up to him, he would really want the DA to be doing right by them, so that they don't have to be subjected to speaking to the EFF or the MK. He has made some accusations, which is where I want to start. Which is where I want to start. He has made some accusations of Fikile Mbalula, saying that Julius Malema and Floyd don't hate each other. They are just playing a game. Yo guys, I laughed so hard when he said that. They are just playing a game. And just before I get right into it, sorry, I just want to quickly read this. This is the resolution from the National Working Committee of the ANC. It says that in view of the recent developments in passing the budget and the persistent sabotage and bad faith, the NWC resolved that there is a need to configure the GNU, meaning that they need to break apart the GNU and bring new people in, and reopen consultations with all GNU partners and all parties. The GNU must be defended, but its integrity cannot be compromised. Consequences must follow for parties that undermine collective decisions, violate executive protocols, and displays a contempt for transformation, which are the minimum standard expected for all the members. Fikile touched on something as well. He said that the DA is always saying that EFF and MK, they're doomsday, but when it comes to them, they abandoned the GNU and they went to vote with the EFF and the MK. So they abandoned the very same GNU that they said would save South Africa, and they went to vote with the EFF and the MK. And then he also says with his mouth, Okuti, the EFF, I think he feels betrayed by the EFF, because he says that they asked the EFF if they don't agree with the VAT, then they must abstain. So the EFF must not vote yes or no, but must abstain. But abstaining would have been selling out, because if the EFF says we don't support the VAT, them abstaining would be giving more power to the ANC. Abstaining is the same as actually voting yes. So I don't understand why Fikile Mbalula is actually cross, because abstaining would have meant that the EFF would have voted yes. Because you can't expect so now when you are also saying they must abstain, you are saying they must not voice out they must not voice out their opinion now. They must just abstain. All right, so let me play this clip by Fikile Mbalula when he's spreading some rumors. Let's listen, and you guys let me know what you think.
Now, Mren, if you say you are beholden to something, how? Slogans, rhetoric, making noise that no, we are not party to this, we are party to that, and all of that. Duping people with slogans and rhetoric when it matters most. You know, for instance, let me give you an example. EFF and its leader, they make a lot of noise. They don't love the DA and all of that and so on. The ANC went to them and said that, okay, fine, you don't agree with VAT, abstain. What did they do? They voted. With who? The DA. If Malema and his party had the majority that we have, do you think that they will be working with the ANC? They won't. He hates the ANC with passion. Him and Floyd combined. I don't know why they are fighting. I think that's a movie we are being subjected to. That fight of Floyd and Julius, it's not real. That thing is just a movie. It's fiction. These are buddies. So Floyd has been sent to go and manage JZ and that MK party and Dalimpov. So it's a big fiction, my brother. These people are buddies like this. They are together. So they say they want to remove the ANC surgically, including working with the DA. They want to remove us from power. Both of them. They would have abstained and come back to us and say, but guys, we have abstained in this thing. We don't want VAT. Mashaba has said that we don't want VAT. Bosa, we don't want VAT. Anyone said so. Even our allies. COSATU, Communist Party, everybody.
I think there is nothing that has hurt Fikile Mbalula like when the EFF said they wanted to remove them surgically out of power. Every time he speaks, he never forgets to mention this. He never forgets to mention this. So I think the EFF really hurt. Really hurt Fikile Mbalula. So yeah, he's saying, Gubana, it's all a movie. Anyway, I do want us to quickly go and listen because I want this to be a short video. I'm giving you guys bits and pieces from the interviews. Let me play you the little part from Herman Mashaba's interview with Clement Manyatela.
Okay, Mr. Mashaba, let's look at what was voted on, right? You speak about a proposal. When I spoke to you last week on the SABC, I said to you, these things don't get amended, obviously, by just mere recommendations or proposal. The document that was voted in has a 0.5 percentage clause. The agreement with the ANC was not something...
It's not with the ANC. It's voted in by Parliament.
Yeah, but you spoke to the ANC first. You know what I mean. You spoke to the ANC first. You reached an agreement. You went to Parliament. Yes, but I'm saying the agreement between you and the ANC was that we will get the finance minister to do this. And then once the ANC said, cool, you came back and said, okay, cool, let's work on a proposal. It went to Parliament, it was passed by Parliament. Are you aware as Action SA, that the National Treasury went ahead and introduced the rates and monetary amounts and amendment of revenue laws bill on that Friday? I think it was, I don't remember the date. On the Friday, it was a notice of government. So that draft bill that was published provides for this highly disputed value-added tax increase. Are you aware of that as Action SA?
Well, what I'm saying to you, Clement, and your listeners, at the end of the day, budget is passed by politicians in Parliament. National Treasury takes instructions from Parliament that votes for that budget. Until such time that a new bill is introduced, and ANC has got the responsibility to ensure that before the 1st of May they bring in a new bill. And I know, and you said, I'm aware Parliament is on recess, but they're back on the 21st before.
That's 10 days before the 1st of May, Mr. Mashaba. Whenever have you seen Parliament? You do know that you are not just going to reverse the 0.5. 1 second. 1 second. I want to say that. Let me ask this question this way. You do know that you need a new bill for you to be able to reverse that 0.5 percentage hike. You do know that, because it's not just a finance minister who comes and says, oh, we're taking away that VAT. You need a new bill. When have you ever seen Parliament pass a new bill within 10 days?
Well, I'm saying it to you, Clement, it is not Action SA's problem. It is the ANC's problem, because if they did not accept our proposal on Tuesday and Wednesday, South Africa would be today without budget. Are you aware about that? Let me actually start there. Are you aware that if our proposal in the committee was not accepted, if our proposal was not accepted in Parliament on Wednesday, are you aware South Africa will be without VAT? And without VAT, automatically, VAT was going to be in place. Are you aware about that situation? Because obviously all the other parties, particularly the DA, what they were proposing was for the Minister of Finances to go and start the process all over again, which will go beyond the 1st of May. But after, based on the VAT Act of 1991, VAT was going to be implemented 1st of May. That is what we were trying to really avoid.
Mr. Mashaba.
And it's up to the ANC to really deal with this matter.
Okay. Mr. Mashaba, are you convinced that Parliament is on recess? They're back on the 22nd. In fact, it's the 22nd until the 25th of April. And then they go on another break immediately because of the long weekend. Are you telling the listeners this morning that between the 22nd and the 25th of April, somehow there's going to be a new bill that's introduced, and that new bill that reverses the 0.5 percentage VAT hike is somehow going to be passed by Parliament in those couple of days?
But okay, Clement, then follow what Action SA has always said, and I'm saying to you right now, we've been really very clear that in the event that the ANC renege on this, now it's up to them to really deal with the actual division of the financial budget come the next few months, weeks and months, so they can forget about Action SA.
But you allowed them. You allowed them to pass this thing. You didn't vote for a proposal. You voted for a bill that contains the percentage VAT hike. You allowed them to increase the 0.5 percentage hike.
Please just use your common sense. I'm saying to you, if ever we did not come out with this intervention, VAT was going to be implemented. If ever the Minister of Finance, if Parliament on Wednesday...
Okay, guys. Well, that's all I can play over Mashaba. Hey! Yo! Like, guys, what do you think? I don't know, man. Okoti, you telling me not even one person in Action SA picked this up? You can't tell me that. You can't tell me, because Herman is not the only one who's making the decision and who's not understanding this. Hey, so now I wanna play you guys the interview of Bosa. Like, I just don't know, guys. I want you to listen to these people.
In looking to the build-up of last week's vote on the fiscal framework, Bosa set out a fairly responsible and a twofold approach. We understood the fact that the fiscal framework is not perfect. We understood the fact that this is something that will need to be changed. But a disaster would have occurred had it been that the fiscal framework had not gone through. I mean, would have literally meant you are dealing with a country and a budget, a country that is without a budget, a country where come the new financial year, departments would only be able to spend 45%, and ultimately a country and a budget and an executive that could lead us effectively now to a point of proper economic disaster. As responsible citizens, this is something we could not afford. We had to work to ensure that we take the journey forward of South Africans. Rejecting the framework at that stage would have put South Africans at proper risk, delayed social grants, disrupted the functioning of schools, hospitals, and police stations. You choose the path of leadership when others have chosen the path of chaos.
Now, as the leader has mentioned, there were also conditions that were on the table. The first is to say that these conditions are about a review and an adjustment of the fiscal framework within 30 days. And so we remain engaged on these conditions and alternatives. And as our leader has said, even tonight, we're engaged on the alternatives that we're putting on the table. And we have remained engaged even throughout the course of last week. The first is that we have been clear that a reversal of the VAT increase has to happen. We've been clear that VAT disproportionately affects the poor and working class households. We have duly campaigned about this and on this issue across the country, and we remain committed to that. We are here this morning still saying that there needs to be a reversal of the VAT increase. This was one.
Okay, so what I'm understanding is that Bosa says they voted for the budget, for the fiscal framework to prevent the stopping of the country functioning, to prevent delays in the country functioning, prevent not giving grants to the elderly. And they believe that the budget or the VAT increase will be reversed. I think where these parties differs is the EFF is saying, and Usnawa has been saying this from day one, it's impossible for you to reverse once it is already done, which is what we experienced in 2017, 2018, when the VAT was increased. They said it was temporal, but it wasn't. And I'm seeing that it seems like the Action SA Bosa, they really believe that they can negotiate and reverse this increase. They really believe so. So, yes, it's been a hectic morning, guys. Guys, you in the comment section, you will tell me, Bana, do you think it makes sense? Anyway, guys, that is all I had today. Obviously, there's been so many reactions on the internet, which I can't read those to you now. But let me know what you think. What do you think now that you've listened to the Action SA, you've listened to Bosa? Do you think it's understandable, or does it make sense why they voted for the for the fiscal framework? Do you think it makes sense? And then also Fikile Mbalula's accusations of CIC and Floyd. What do you think about that? What do you think about Fikile Mbalula J in general? Hey! Anyway, guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Zizipolo Pelwana. This is Simple Politics. This is where we discuss everything politics. And I'm telling you, today has been a fire day. Today has been fire. Please do subscribe to this channel. It is free of charge. I'll see you in the next one.